Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel, Maverick's Arcade. Today we're going to actually be showing you how to take an emulator that's traditionally 2 players. When I first set up the emulators for NES and Super Nintendo, Genesis, all games that have less than 6 buttons on the controllers besides the directional keys, we went ahead and mapped them straight to the joysticks or the gamepads. Now, you built this arcade. You want to be able to use the arcade controls, but you also want the ability very easily if somebody comes over and wants to use the feel of an original joystick, like a Nintendo controller, for example. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to set the controls up so that you can use either or, and also to use LED Blinky to light those controls to make it look better. And the one downside is if you are using your controls and they're not mapped to keyboard keys, I'm not sure how to accomplish what I want to accomplish, because that would involve remapping a joystick to go to another joystick. So the way we're going to do this is first we're going to jump over to our arcade, and we're going to jump over here. So on the arcade, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up, in my case, Chrome. And as always, I'm on a VPN on my arcade. And we're going to look up JoytoKey. And there is a licensed version. I don't have the licensed version. I'm just downloading this one. And then the non-licensed version isn't disabled or anything like that. It's just nothing. So we're downloading that now. Hello. Let's download. Well, at least it's been updated enough where they actually have Windows 10 here. Down here, I would trust CNET better than I would trust other things. So we're going to here and we're going to download this. And we are doing show in folder. And this is our zip file. And we're going to extract that to the location where I stored my emulators, which is on the D drive. And we're going to just call this folder utilities. And in there, we're going to make a JoytoKey. JoytoKey. And we're going to copy those contents straight over to there. So now we have it sitting in here. The one thing we need to do, let me go ahead and close this out. What we need to do next is we need to go ahead and open it. And the one downside is I don't remember the controls on the other side of the arcade. But what we need to do is, first what we're going to do is we're going to map out using Notepad. We're going to map out the way the controller is now. Now, for example, I know on the player 1 joystick, up, down, left, right are arrow keys. I know that. And then on the top row buttons, it's A, B, C, D, E, F. And then I'm not sure about the other controls. So we're going to switch over to the arcade view. We're going to go over there for a moment. So let me flip over to that view. And we're turning on the... Oh, excuse me. We are turning on... Let me switch my TV mode into the right mode so I get my full screen. There we go. So what we're doing on here is in the Notepad. Again, I know the top buttons here are A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then my start buttons are players 1, 2, 3, and 4. So those are insert coin, coin 1 through 4. And then start 1 through 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then player 2 up is up. Player 2 down is down. Player 2 left is left. Player 2 right is P. And then the buttons are the following. Again, from the top row over. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this controller. And we have obviously start, select. And we have these 6, and then we have the shoulder buttons. Now, the only issue I have with the shoulder buttons is for Super Nintendo games, we would have to use these 2 buttons for the start up here for SNES. Because I'd like to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then start and select could be these buttons, for example. But you could do it any way you want. But we wanted to get the mappings out first. So let's go back over to the desk for now. And we got all our mics set back up. So now let's go back over to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up JoytoKey. And we're looking at button 1. Oh, and I might have to actually do the where's configure joysticks. Advanced setting for each device. So the 2 axes are the Nintendo controllers. Or is it? Yeah. Because the Logitech is the one that's like the PS2 style, and then this is the other PS2 style. These are the ones that are like the Nintendo Gamepads. So what we need to do for that actually, the only thing that doesn't make sense about that is where they're getting the 2 axes from. Alright, so let's go back over to the other window. Sorry about that. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this joystick over here. You can see it's detecting the input. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the joystick 1 would be that. Joystick 2 will be player joystick 2 on here. So as you can see, that joystick right here goes it's supposed to be on there. Try this one. That's strange. It's not picking it up on here. Alright. In any case, so we have joystick 1, joystick 2. Let's see what's here. 7 joysticks are detected. Okay. So joystick 1, we are doing this way Okay, joystick 2 is being detected. You can see it lighting up green. When I hit this button, it's yellow. So when we... It's funny, when I hit this button, I'm seeing it go that way. I'm just not seeing the left button strike. Maybe it's because it's highlighted. Yeah. So this button, we're going to have this one be assign a special key code. It's going to be none of those buttons. It's going to be a key. Lots of stuff in here I don't understand. So we're ignoring that. It's going to be that key. So then we're going to go here. And we're going to say on this key, it's going to be that way. Then on this key, if it goes up, again, we're just hitting the buttons that we're going to want it to be. And then on this one, it's going to be down. And then on stick 2, we're not worried about. Button 1, which is, it's detecting as button 4 on there. You can see it lighting up. Well, let's do select first. The way I'm going to want to do it for consistency is going to be the select button for all games will be... Well, here's the thing first, is I'm picturing the Nintendo controller. The Nintendo controller does not have this. The NES. And it does not have this. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have these be my start and select buttons, and then this would be BA on the NES. So again, start or select, start, BA. And then that way, when I do my Super Nintendo, it'll still be select, start, BA, and then this will be YX. And then what I'm going to do is have these be the shoulder buttons. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do... we're going to again look at what select is. Select is this. So we're going to assign that one to that. The A button. And then we're hitting the start button on here. That's this button. We're going to have that map to that key. Again, this is working because I have keyboard emulation. So then the B button, we're going to have be here. And then this button, we're going to want to be mapped to that on the keyboard. And then eventually, the Y button here will be on the top row. And then this button will be on that button. So we have these programmed now, and we have the D-pad. We now need the shoulders. So where's the shoulder at? I hit the button up there, and we're going to have that be up here. We then push in that button, and we need that to be here. So this controller is now mapped to keys on here. We're then going to do the same thing with the other controller. We're going to go here and we're going to hit this button first. And we're going to map it that way. We're then going to hit that button and set the controller that way. You can see this is a little bit repetitive. And I am working on new ways soon to make these videos. So I'll be able to fast forward through some of this monotony. But we will get there when we get there. So this button is now mirrored to the other side. I'm doing the same thing since it's a little harder to view it here. But it's the same mappings that we did on the other side. So then B, we want to be on that. And this one, we want to be over here. And then this top row is going to be these buttons up there. And then that button right there. And then the shoulder button is right here. And then this shoulder button is right here. So now this key, this is completely mapped. So we're going to go ahead and hit that, and we're going to copy this profile, and we're going to call this one NES. NES. All right, so we've got that now configured. We're just going to look at the preferences in here, highlight press buttons. Yeah, that's all fine. Hide taskbar, that's all fine. All right, everything there looks good. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to go back into our Nintendo emulator, because before we had it keyed directly to this controller. We now need to map it to here, because remember, this will now translate to here. So we're going to map the things to this joystick now in the Nintendo emulator. So we're going to go over to Dystopia. And we're going to launch this. And then we're going to hit the Alt button. Actually, we're going to do Alt Enter to get out of full screen mode. This screen takes a while to sync back. And we're going to go to Options, Input, and we're going to now change these controls. So we're going to clear all these controls, and we're going to hit Set All, and it's telling us now do left, up, right, down, select, start, B, A, and then this is where we could do the auto fire buttons just because it has the option. And then we're going to use this as the mic. Even though we don't have any games that use the mic, we'll still program it since we can. Now we're going to go to pad 2. We're going to clear all those responses, and we're going to hit set all on here. We're going to do left, up, right, down, select, start, B, A, auto fire, mic. And now that's all reset. We're going to go ahead and hit OK on that. This is now set. So what that should mean is as long as this is running, if I launch my launch box. Now what I'm going to show you how to do next is how to launch JoytoKey only when you're running emulators that you've configured to use JoytoKey, and then have it automatically not run. When you close the application, it'll close JoytoKey. But we're just right now testing to make sure that this worked. So we're going to go to Consoles. We're going to go to regular Nintendo. And we're going to launch. Let's check Contra. So I don't have any colors set up here on LED Blinky yet. Actually, it's still got the colors I attempted a long time ago. And these are not color correct right now, so we're going to adjust those later. But we hit up, down. Let me hit start. I hit select. Select is working. I hit start. Now remember, these are my B and the A buttons. So I'm just testing here on the keyboard first. We're on the console. And it does look like this is working really well. And I got my jump. Yep, everything's working really good there. Now, the test. As you can see, I can now use this or the other one. And it maps correctly, and there's my start. And I paused. And I can unpause with this one because that's my other start button. Paused. And then I can keep shooting. So as you can see, that's working. Oh, I can't jump when I'm in the water. And I get out of the water and I go, no, don't come out there. I never really liked the F thing, whatever that is. I never really liked that. So now I'm going to escape out of here. So as you can see, I could choose either other controller. That's awesome. That's exactly what we were looking for. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to reprogram the LED Blinky to be the colors that I want. So, oh, well, since we're here anyway, we might as well do the same thing with the Super Nintendo emulator. So we'll go over to Super NES, and we're going to launch that emulator all by itself. And again, instead of originally it's all mapped to these, we're going to change it to map to the keyboard, because JoytoKey will map this to the keyboard. And I think I have to Alt-Enter to get out of full screen. Yep. Wait for the stupid delay. And we're going to go to Input, Custom Configuration. And as you can see, we have to change Joypad 1. And what we have to do is we have to do up, left, down, right, BA, XY, start, select, left, right. Now, up, left. Let's try to see if we can do that. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's see if we can clear this. What we'll have to do is we'll have to test, because here's the thing. We had a comment from a user that said that if we don't map this, then the game won't handle diagonals correctly. And the only issue I have is that confuses me, because I can totally understand if it was an analog control, but this should be able to. I mean, the original controller was an analog, so I'm a little confused by that. So I can't input two keys into one field. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's check the other controller. Okay, so we have this configured, and now we're going to go to Joypad 2. We're going to do the same thing. Up, left, up, left, down, right, B, A, Y, X, start, select, left, right. Alright, so we now have that selected. So we're going to load a game. Just to make sure this is working, let's try Donkey Kong Country. We're going to go full screen on it. And we're going to hit start. And the start button appears to be working. It's definitely, let's see. Two-player contest, why not? Let's see what it does. I don't remember what two-player contest does. Do we fight with each other? How does that work? No. So I'm going to back out of this. I'm going to try that again. Oh, see, and this is one thing, is on this emulator, I couldn't get the escape button to work. So the script that we're going to use will allow us to use the escape, because it'll force the app. Let's go ahead and reload the game. Let's try that again. And this time we'll do the team option. Because that's right, you can tag each other in. Come on. And I definitely want to shut off those on-screen displays. It's kind of obnoxious. Don't care. Here, let's do this. Let's shut that off now. So in the where's my option? Settings. I was just trying to see if I could easily see if I could not show when things are being saved. It is somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it show up here, and I don't know who in the hell would be texting me this late. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. We don't need to worry about it right now. Again, these sorts of things will be improved in future videos soon once I redo the set. So we're going to go ahead and hit this. We're hitting that. We're launching a game. We're going to do team. And we move our little dude over here. Come on. So we're testing left, right, down, jump, roll. I don't think the shoulder buttons do anything here. No, they don't. So we got that. And then we're going to try it with the controller. And as you can see, everything's still working. It just feels way better here. Figure out how so I picked that up, and now I should be able to hit the button. Yep. And we're testing his controls now. Up, down, same thing. Oh, this is this is still a load button. I'm wondering if that's because that was a control set for this game specifically. Let me see where the input. Okay, so even though those controls were set, I still have a setting here, and I gotta get rid of that. My wife's asking if I turn the printer on. So anyway, okay. So, what we're looking for here is the setting where you get to choose to save your hotkeys. Let's see. So there was, see here, they got the save fields right here. It's because we thought we were going to be using those instead of, we thought we were only going to be using these controllers. Now we want to use these buttons. And that's the reason why I kept getting that save menu appear. So that makes more sense now. Here we're going to hit that and hit escape. That escape. And then we're not going to load any of those. All right. So that's what we want. Now when we launch the game, we shouldn't get all these saves and repeats and loads. So as you can see, who's it on? It's on him now. Yeah, that joystick ball was loose. So I should be able to tap out. And now we can move him back and forth, down. Oh. And we got, but the thing is, the control's working. That's what we're concerned about. And we can pause. And we can hit select. So the controls are now mapped for both NES and SNES. Now we can do the same thing with Genesis and everything like that. Again, what we're doing is we're changing the emulator to map to the console, and then mapping this to the keys that the console uses. You can do the same thing with these PlayStation controllers and the controllers here. Now the downside is these controllers have analog. Obviously we can't do analog on here unless you had a 360 joystick. So that is this, and again, escape key right now doesn't close this game, but it will shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to now go back to our desk. Un momento, por favor. Okay, phone. So, let's switch back over here. All right. So we've made that progress there. Now we need to look at, one thing I got to look up is the command line keys for JoytoKey command line switches. Let's try this here. We don't want those. What I'm looking for is if there is a command line switch to easily load or kill the application. And nope, I'm not seeing it, and that's fine. So the next step is I've already modified a script partially earlier. So we're going to close this. Now, when you close JoytoKey, it should be, yeah, it still shows up down here. So we need to terminate JoytoKey. And now we're going to open up Launchbox in regular mode. Excuse me. And now we're going to go to Tools, Emulators, and we're going to go to Nostopia, which is the NES one to start with. And you can see I have a running AutoScript so that when it's running, the first thing it's going to do, and as you can see, I was testing with Notepad earlier. So we're going to go browse to the path for JoytoPad. And we're going to Utilities, JoytoKey. And then we're going to do JoytoKey exe. And then in our script, we're going to have it launch JoytoKey when the system begins loading. Now I'm going to go ahead and launch it again. And the reason why is I'm looking for can I delete this one? Yeah. And actually, I'm just going to rename this one to Maverick's Arcade. And the only reason why is because the only games I'm worried about remapping are the ones that are less than 6 buttons. If it's a PS3 or PS4, they're definitely not going to be on my console. So we're just going to call this Maverick's Arcade. And the reason why I also want to make sure that this is set consistently is because now when I close this, let me close it all the way. And it's gone. When I reopen it, I need to make sure exactly what it says up on this line. And the reason why is because that's how I'm going to close the application. Now, I have a little utility that you can get called WinSpy. And it comes with the, if you download AutoHotkey directly, then WinSpy is part of it. But let's see, AutoHotkey, Window Spy. What it allows me to do is to hit the window and get information about it. So I can see in here the name that's showing up. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can easily copy it. Because what I want it to do is twofold. It's going to, when I launch an emulator for NES, because Nostopia is the one I'm in right now, it's going to run it and it's going to wait for the program to load. So it's going to wait for JoytoKey to load up fully. And then the application, the video game will continue to load. But if during that time, if I hit escape, what it's going to do is, before the emulator even has a chance to do anything, what it's going to do is it's going to first make sure that the program, if JoytoKey is still running, it's going to kill it. See right here, win kill. Then it's going to close whichever emulator is open. Now, you remember how I was not allowed to assign the escape key for the Super Nintendo to exit. This is going to force the process to get killed. So, this is now set up for the Nostopia for regular NES. And now we're going to add the same script. And you can see I was trying earlier to get this to work. Or actually, this is what you can see. This section closes SNES when pressing escape. This was automatically added by Launchbox when it detected that I wanted the escape key to be the exit key, and the Super Nintendo does not allow that in the emulator, so the system automatically knew that this script would be needed. Instead, we're going to add a little bit to add the JoytoKey functionality. Now, with that added, I should be able to hit OK now. I should be able to close. And now we're going to launch Big Box. And we're going to verify that JoytoKey needs to be closed before I don't have time. All right, we're going to quit this first and make sure JoytoKey is fully closed. Okay, JoytoKey is not running. I'm going to run Launchbox. And we're going to wait for it again. And now we're going to first do it with an NES game. So we're going to go into A is the key for the first button. And then we're going to go down to Nintendo. And we're going to go, I guess, back to Contra. We're going to hit A. Now it's loading. You can see that little window popped up. Let's go see if that worked on our controls.
B button. A button. D-pad.
Alright, so we have the VR desk here. And we show game over. Everything looks to be running correctly. And we're going to hit start button here. And obviously this mapping is going to work because the emulator is set to the keyboard. We're going to hit this, and we're going to grab this joystick, and we're going to pray that that thing's running in the background so that this works. And as you can see, it does. So we have successfully right now gotten JoytoKey to work. Now the question is going to be, when we exit the emulator, is it going to still be there? So we're going to go ahead and hit escape by hitting the stop button. It should kill the process for the emulator and kill the JoytoKey. It takes a second for the screen to come back. Actually, it should have already come back. Where's that? So it looks like JoytoKey is still running. It should not be, though. So it looks like we're not killing it by the right name. Let me try to launch a different emulator. Actually, let me launch. No, I hate when this stupid thing's acting funny. It looks to be stuck on something. Okay, it was stuck because of the Windows. And apparently I'm loading this game.
Insert coin.
Looks like I have some of my buttons backwards too.
B button.
I hit escape on this.
D-pad.
So it looks like what the issue is it's not killing the JoytoKey like it's supposed to. Which is causing an issue, obviously. Or it could just also be that the game over is in the way. I'll have to check that. Alright, so I'm going to have to obviously clip this piece. Frequently asked questions. Oh. All right, so we're putting, I just realized something. So we're putting default back here. And we're going to do SNES, SNES, Genesis. And then we'll be able to add things just like Atari. Okay, let's do dashes instead. I should have known better. SNES. Okay, so what we have is we have default, which should be nothing. The keys should act like they should normally do. But then we have NES, SNES, and we go into File, Associate Profiles with Applications. We're going to add, and we're going to go straight to the location where the emulators are and plug those in. So emulators, we want it to occur for SNES. We'll do Nostopia. So if this application is running, we're going to put it there. And I wish I would have realized this earlier, because then I would have saved myself a lot of trouble. So if that emulator is running, we want it to run that profile. This is Nostopia. And then we're going to add if the SNES is here. We have that, and this is called, I think it's just SNES 9X. We're going to set that profile to be down here. Yeah, so what that means is we would launch this application with our arcade and have it be in a minimized mode. And that way it would automatically switch around. So then you would say default behavior, switch to the last one automatically used before the auto association. So before you close your program, you always want to make sure, specify default profile. The default profile should be default because that profile is blank. So we want this to be default, and we want to add in our emulators specifically. And again, it's been a long time since I messed with this, so I'm sorry I'm fumbling around a little bit. But we will verify this is working before I say, go off and be free. And the Genesis, we may remap the controls because they have, we're not going to do the Genesis on this one, on that profile, just because that had 3 keys up above and below. So we're going to hit OK on this, and I'm going to rename this again and just call it SNES and NES. And the reason why is I'm going to want my controls to be a little bit different for the Genesis because it had 6 buttons. So then I'm going to need, I didn't think this would automatically reassociate the name to the name change. So I'm changing these. And there we go. So now what should happen, we're going to also change this so that when we launch it, it is minimized. So start it minimized. Only show it in the task tray. And we're not going to do a sound file for every time the mic changes. And we're manually selecting this one last. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this. We're going to leave it running. And what we're going to do to test right now is we're going to open up a notepad. Now remember, I had assigned keys so that these equal these, which were A, B, C, D, E, and F. So I should be able to hit, if I hit these and keep letters show up, then I'm not on the default profile. So as you can see, it's not mapped right now. Nothing's mapped right now. The joystick is native. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in the launch box and we're going to take out the part that I got screwy with. Now the regular Nintendo emulator it's able to understand the escape key. So in the case of the regular Nintendo emulator, I do not need any of this code. Do not need any of it. So I'm going to hit OK. In the case of the Super Nintendo, the only code that we actually do need in here is the one that was created by the system to allow the escape key to work, which is back to here. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to hit close. And we're going to go launch it. We're going to switch into big box mode. So now we're going to launch this. And in the same respect, if this mapping was done, then these obviously would equal the up, down, left, right on here, which would be honored by big box. So to test that it's not mapped right now, I'm hitting this. Nothing's happening. It's not going through the menus. None of these buttons are mapping anywhere right now. So now we're going to go to consoles. I got to switch the colors on these. No, that's right. Green's up here. And we're going to go back down to, might as well, with Contra. So we have now loading. Now this profile should work. And as you can see, the mapping is on here. And okay, yeah. So this is working way better. In the past, I used to launch and close. I never actually kept it open. Would have been a lot easier this way. And we discovered it together. Or you already knew about it and I'm just an idiot. One or the other. So the buttons are working here. And they're still working here, obviously. And then we'll pause. And we'll hit escape. And it launches straight back to this correctly. And the button should not work anymore. Correct. Since the application is no longer detected, it went back to the default profile, which is what we want. Now we're going to hit back. And we're going to go to the Super Nintendo. And we're going to see, hopefully, if that escape key will now get us out of the game, but still allow the joy mapping. So let's see. I do want to get rid of the G-Force pop-ups and the various menu pop-ups, because those are annoying. So we're going to hit what should be start on here. And so this is working. I hit my button over here. And now we're going to try it on here. Oh, I was looking at my delayed broadcast screen over here. Let's try. So these keys are definitely doing something. Now the question that we had with the Super Nintendo, I am able to hit diagonals. Oh, son of a bitch, you kicked the shit out of me. Alright, so let's test these keys. Yeah. So everything there is definitely working. Now, the test, let's see if the escape key actually works now. It says game over, goes straight to here, and this is now disabled. Cool. Last step. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and quit out of the emulator. or the front end. And then what we're going to do, so the first thing I want to do, obviously, is I want to make JoytoKey launch its startup. And the easiest way to do that, I don't have startup in here anymore, but I think JoytoKey itself should have, you would think it would have an option to launch with Windows right from here. Start, minimize mode, hide taskbar. Huh. No, it doesn't have an option right there to start with Windows. Let's check over. It does not. So what we need to do is go to, do I have the option to explore all users like I used to? Oh my gosh. Why am I not remembering? I mean, it usually is startup items here, but this is Windows 10. And I don't think I can add it through. Let's try msconfig. I used to blur. God, it's been a while, man. Startup. Yeah, they just, everything's so different nowadays. All right, let me go to the other spot. I'm just trying to remember when the hell it is. It's been a while. No. Let me just look it up real quick. Auto startup folder, Windows 10. That. Directly there it is. Shell startup. Or Windows key. Yeah. Okay. It's not just me. They did hide it. But no. That's supposed to bring it up. Well, Windows 10. Again, sorry guys. This is just working the problem with me. Good times. Gonna be a pain in my ass about it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. Okay. So we're gonna go to my documents, figure out where my profile is. Yeah. Users. I believe I am arcade local right here. And now we're gonna put in /whack. And this is our startup folder now. So we're going to close JoytoKey here. We're going to terminate JoytoKey. It's gone. We're going to go to our utilities folder. This is the wrong window. Going to go to our. Now, obviously, if you have Windows 7 still, the whole process was much easier. And if you need a second, remember it's your user path and then app data, roaming, Microsoft Windows, start menu, program, startup. Because they try to make it harder to find. So we're going to have that be in the startup. And just because I'm finally at the point where I don't mind this thing running at startup, we're going to properties. Okay, it is in that location, so I'm going to go to here. And I'm going to go to big box, and I'm going to create a shortcut, and I'm going to move that shortcut into there instead. So now we're going to test and make sure that it comes up by restarting the system. The new motherboard. Let me reconnect my VNC. Connect. All right, so we're reconnecting to VNC. It should be loading the actual arcade now. Now, what's interesting is with that pop-up showing up, I'm wondering if it's going to launch correctly. We will see. We're going to launch Nintendo because it's quicker. Nintendo. Contra. I'm just hitting JoytoKey to see if it loads.
Insert coin. Start. B button. A button. D-pad.
Alright, so this is interesting. The interesting part is because it still has that prompt. It did not auto switch my profile. Huh. Maybe not. Let's see. Same when it's not. So start it in minimize mode. Hide from taskbar. Did it lose? Wait a minute. I'm wondering. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm thinking it's maybe because the shortcut. I'm an idiot. I did it correctly with. Can't believe I did that. I copied the exe. So the stupid thing launched the exe and not the actual one that I programmed. That's so stupid. So on today's lesson is things not to do. Now, I gotta try to work on getting interaction more with my channel, so I'm gonna hate to do this. If you saw it as it was happening and realized it was a goof, comment below. And hit like, because you're special and you figured it out before I did. And I'm the one trying to guide you. should be afraid. So let's go in here. Where was the stupid folder? It's not. Yeah, I freaking hate Windows 10 rearranging things. Yeah, so that's the reason why I think the JoytoKey will work without having any intervention. But Windows 10 startup folder, stupid location. It's Microsoft Windows programs. I did not need that open. Windows. Oh, it's another hidden folder. Yay. Yep, see, it was trying to write config files there, all because it's not supposed to be in there. I need to close this, terminate JoytoKey, close this, try again, go away. I don't want you, I don't want you. What I do want is I want to go into here, and I want to go into my utilities, JoytoKey. I want to create a shortcut this time and move that shortcut into there. And I want to make sure that that shortcut has the working directory. Yep, start in there. Okay. So now we're going to try this again. And we should be successful without an annoying message. Cross fingers and test, and then after that we will do LED Blinky. So while that's rebooting, one of the things I'm going to be trying to do in the future videos is to more edit the videos instead of just trying to record them live like I'm doing now. And even though it does give me the ability to do some troubleshooting with you and let you see how I troubleshoot, sometimes it's just pointless. And I don't want to make you sit there and wait through that anymore. So I'm going to kind of adapt to that. Now, another reason why is because the other day when I was doing the remote support with our viewer in Canada, I realized after the fact that I did not switch the camera view to make the computer screen the larger screen. And the way I currently make my videos, there was no way for me to go back and record, remix those camera views. So what I'm going to be doing in the future is I'm going to actually be recording it the first time through like a master copy in 4K with all my separate screens being captured independently and the audio tracks being written as separate tracks, so I can remix audio, remix video, and all that stuff after the fact to make sure to get it the way I want. So now that this is back up, let's go ahead and launch Nintendo first. And we're going to make sure the JoytoKey kicked in automatically this time.
Select. Start game. Insert point.
Alright, so that one down, let's try NES.
Start game. Insert.
Alright, so this is obviously working now, so we're going to go ahead and bounce out of this. Verify that the keys are no longer working. It's good. That's what we want. Alright, so that takes care of Joy 2 key. Found the new way, or the way that it functions that I never did before. I'm really glad that I stumbled upon that. That's how we should use the dang thing. So that's good. Let's see here. That's the other reason why I realized so many other people doing the IT things are. That's the other point to why I want to edit my videos the way everybody else does. Is it makes them seem a lot smarter when they don't screw up as much. They're all just as smart, if not, I don't know. I don't want to say who's smarter or not, but they also usually have teams of writers coming up with content for them, but they get to look like Alex Trebek. So, in any case, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to reprogram the emulator because remember, we changed the buttons around and what they do. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our controls editor in LED Blinky, and we're going to look for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We're going to go to ROM Game Default, and we're going to do Edit. And again, these are the controls for Player 1 and for Player 2. Now, what I had done before is we had Joystick 1 up, programmed as red, just so that the joystick light, or the ball on top of the joystick, would be lit up red. And then we have the B and the A button colored red. However, now that's actually different buttons. So it is one, from your point of view, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 and 6. So 5 is actually button B now. So we need to change this, change the control. Wait a minute. Player. Huh. Trying to figure out why. Let's see. New. Okay, so player 5. Okay, so player 6 is the other red button. Okay, so let me first just do this in order. So player 2 is going to be the X and then the Y. So button 2 is X. X button. We're just going to say X. And then that color is going to be, let's do, well, one other thing we want to do for this video is let me turn down this color a little bit. So as we do light these up, you'll be able to see. So we'll do orange, and that's going to be on player 1 button 2. Or no, player 1 button 2. Player 1 button 2. So that's going to be orange. Yeah, I like that. So we have X. Button 3 is now Y. And that is going to be orange. And that's going to be what that button is. And then button 1, which we need to add. Button 1 is select. And that's going to be a gray color. It's not the, well, let me see which one. The D-pad should be just red, straight up red. Button 4 is start. And that we want to do, let's do 12. Let's do 20, 20, and 20. And which button that is that button right there. So that is the start button. And the select button is button 1. So we're going to do button 1 is select. And we're going to do $20, $20, and $20. And we have select. Yep, we have it there. It's always active. Yep, that's always active. That's always active. Now we do not. Now for Super Nintendo, we're gonna still call button. So we have 2. Button 2 is already defined. That's one that was screwed up. So button 2. It's not X and Y, it's auto B and auto A. Now, when it comes to the Super Nintendo, it would be X and Y. But on the regular Nintendo, it's B and A, and then some special controllers had auto B and auto A to basically mash buttons for you without you having to do it yourself. So the one key I am missing is button 6, which is button... Actually, this should be button B. I don't know why the controllers, why they originally mapped them backwards, but they did. So button 6 is button A. New. Button 6 is A, and it should be red. So that's the controls for this side. Now for the other side, what we're going to do is I'm going to change and be consistent. So Mario being red, and the player 2, all the buttons will be themed green. So we have that, but now what we need to do is, again, we need to change that button 2 would be auto B, and it would be line. And actually, we're going to make that one green. And these buttons will be lime because lime's brighter. And like the other side, we have an orange color. We might play with around, change it around a little bit if it doesn't look the way we want. We've got lime, and for the D-pad, we have lime. B and A. Okay, so this one is now actually just B. Because again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, flip for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just remembering where the buttons were that I had them. Now, in this game, obviously, also the shoulder buttons are not going to be lit up. And I'm not going to light up the mic buttons because they're not common. Button 2 would be auto B. Button 3 would be auto A. And that one will be green. So we have green, green. Now we need buttons 1. Actually, button 4 is start button. And that is going to be the 20-20-20. So 20. 20. And 20. So we got that. And now we need button 1 to be select. And we're going to do 20, 20, and 20. And 20. So we have select, start, B. We do not have A yet, which is button 6. So button 6 is A, and that should be line. That should be all of our controls. So now we're going to go ahead and hit OK. We're going to go ahead and hit save. Always make sure to hit save here. We're going to close this. And now we're going to close this, and we're going to launch Big Box. And then we're going to launch a Nintendo game and verify the colors show up the way we want. And see how it goes. Another good reason for edits. So we're going to go into consoles, and I still want to get the theme back to kind of the way I had it before. I liked it much better, but I haven't gotten any new themes since I've reinstalled. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and we're going to go ahead and launch Contra, and the colors should now map to the new colors.
Start game. Insert coin. Select. Auto A. Start.
So stepping through the buttons now.
D-pad. B.
Let's see if we get that color a little bit easier to see. Alright, so you can see down on the player one side, we definitely have red and green, but the two buttons on top and bottom on the left hand side are the select and start, and they're kind of a grayish color. Then the two bottom buttons on the right for the player one are red, that's B and A, and then the two bottom buttons on the left, or on the player two controller on the right, B and A, is the green, and then a darker green for the auto A and B. So you just repeat this method for the Genesis, repeat this method for the Super Nintendo for coloring LED Blinky, and you can kind of get the custom view, custom look that you want. So if you guys have any questions, again, like I said, I'm looking to improve this video, but I also want to make sure not to lose the detail that some of you guys have come to expect and enjoy, because some other sites may not have the level of detail. I just need to find that perfect balance that works for you guys and get you all the information you need. Do me a favor, like, comment, share this video, try to prop it up. I'm still trying to build the channel, and I'm trying to I got some good surprises coming for you. If I can just get around to making myself a new theme song, I don't want to have to worry about YouTube copyright strikes and stuff like that for anything in the future. I just want to make my own stuff and never have to worry about it. And also make a new virtual set, and then all the other kind of improvements I want to do. I want to kind of give you guys a shock and awe moment. So I'm still trying to do things the way that I'm used to for now until I can roll into that new method. But if you guys have any questions, so forth, please let me know, and I'd be happy to help you guys out. Also, make sure to send me photos of your arcade and a little blurb about like your favorite games, what got you into emulation, and so forth. I'd love to feature you on one of my videos. And again, make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. But as always, thank you for watching. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please click like on this video and subscribe to my channel for future updates. If you'd like to see more content, please check out the following locations. I primarily use YouTube to store the final versions of my how-to videos. Facebook is used for communication, including notices about upcoming videos, behind-the-scenes photos, and occasional live streams assisting users with their own systems. I also stream on Twitch while recording these videos so you can see behind the scenes, machine setup, and of course the occasional bloopers. Check out these channels and let me know what you guys think. And as always, thanks again for watching.